Hello, guys. Welcome to the One Take Podcast channel. I'm your host, Sean Lee Rag, and today I have a very special guest with me for my first episode. She's one of my friends from Twitch and this community called VGA, Video Games Awesome. I want you to meet Midnight Starlight. Hello, Midnight.
Hi! Hi everyone! I'm really excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm pretty nervous as though because it's my first time doing it, so
Ah,
yeah.
you'll be fine.
Alright,
Mm.
so are you ready to start this off already?
Yeah, sure. I
Um,
apologize in advance for
well,
anything weird I say.
before we actually start, you have a Twitch channel as well and a YouTube channel you're on the making.
Yeah, YouTube channel's on the making. I need to sort some stuff out for that first, like music and the art of my channel
Mm-hmm.
before I actually set it up. But yeah, I regularly stream on Twitch.
Okay.
Mm. Mhm.
Even though I know that already, I'm just pretending not to know.
No,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
All right. So why don't we get this started already with our first question for the podcast today? Now, before start with the first question, I just want to make everybody know that this is mostly mainly on media like movie, gaming, TV, internet news, and etc. And also, this is for a school project I'm doing. So every weekend, I'll post an episode with a special guest. You might even come back as well for a couple of episodes. So,
I doubt that. I doubt like once this is over, people will probably be like, "No, get that girl off the
no, don't think
screen!"
that way.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
All right. So the first question I have for today is Lego has revealed the Lego sets of the upcoming Female Ghostbusters film, and also new photos of the characters have been revealed. Now, Midnight, are you excited personally for the Female Ghostbusters movie?
Yeah, I see a lot of negativity around it, and weirdly enough, I find that it's a lot of guys that are like really unenthusiastic about it. I
Mm-hmm.
think, it is what it is. Right now, I haven't seen any trailers for it. I don't really know
Mm-hmm.
that much about it, but I think it's really cool that, the whole cast is female and that it's female writers. Well, not the whole cast, but most of the cast is female and there's female writers and stuff. I think that's really great. And we need more of that kind of stuff, really. So I'm really praying that it's really, really good. And so that we can get more of this stuff in the future.
Yeah,
Mm.
if you want my opinion on this, I like most of the cast and writers they have for this movie. What the cast for the movie is Kristen Wiig, who you might know from a bunch of comedic stuff like Bridesmaids, Spot.
Mm.
There's she does a bunch of other stuff. Melissa McCarthy, who was in the previous director's film Spy, Bridesmaids as well.
Mm.
And also we have two SNL Saturday Night Live cast members, Kate McKinnon and Leslie Jones, in it. And
Mm.
also, Thor himself, Chris Hemsworth, will play the Janine of the
Yeah,
movie.
I saw that this week. Yeah, no, it's a strong cast, definitely. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
could see it being a strong cast. The only one I'm really concerned of is Melissa McCarthy because I've seen some of her films actually, and
Mm.
if you want me to be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of her personally.
That's fair
I
enough.
just feel like she does the same stuff over and over again in her films. It's not
Mm.
that I'm against her. It's just that I'm like against the writing she has in her films. I feel like that she could do something different with this film, and if she manages to prove that, I'll be very happy in the long run because I've been a Ghostbusters fan for like years and years, and I'm
It's a
assuming you have
classic.
been as well.
Well, yeah, no, like pretty much all my life, really. It's Ghostbusters.
It
What
is
what can you
Ghostbusters.
say about it? It's Ghostbusters.
Did you like the sequel that came out years after? I didn't mind it.
I I don't know, really, because I don't really remember it all that much. I saw it maybe once or twice,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't really find it all that memorable. I just remember this guy and a painting, and there's a baby, and I that's about it. That's about it. That's all I
Yeah,
remember
that
of
it
it.
does involve a painting, and it has a baby involved in some slime, which is reminiscent of the Blob, I guess you could say.
Oh, okay.
So that's so. that's pretty much our views of the Ghostbusters film. Again, I'm not against it personally. I'm always open to everything, like how you said. It's
Mm.
mostly males that are against this film. We're like, hey, you can't put females in Ghostbusters. That's impossible. Well, I guess they didn't look at Sigourney Weaver in it.
Yeah, I guess so. How can you not look at Sigourney Weaver though? She's the boss.
She is. So I mean, freaking Alien and all her films she's been in. Like, I
Mm.
don't understand why people think that it's wrong of Ghostbusters to have female leads in it. Pretty
I
much.
don't know. I think some. I don't know. I can't really speak for those people, but like maybe just throwing out a theory. Maybe they feel that, a bit threatened. Like if it's crap,
Hmm.
then it will kind of sully the originals, which I don't think, even if it does end up being rubbish, I don't think that that's going to happen. I don't think that the original Ghostbusters is going to be ruined just because this remake is bad or has the capacity to be bad.
Yeah,
That's just my opinion.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Like, even though I know a lot of friends of mine who are big Ghostbusters fans, and when they saw this announced, they were like, "Oh no, they're ruining the originals. They're ruining the legacy of the franchise." And I was just
Hmm.
thinking in my head, it's not ruining it. I'm just wondering if it's necessary or not. Like,
Eh.
I mean,
Well, if we argued about what's necessary or not, then we'd be here for a long
long
time
time.
because Hollywood constantly does remakes
and,
that are
s- and
unnecessary, especially
sequels
today.
and
Uh,
sequels to films that are like 20 years old or something like that.
yeah, there's a new movie. I can't remember what it is, but I think it's Labyrinth.
Yeah,
They're planning to do a sequel to Labyrinth as well, and I'm like, what? How? Why? I don't. Fine, whatever.
literally a week after David Bowie passed away, they announced that, and I'm just like, that's kind of cold-hearted, don't you think? A little bit, like you're saying
Yeah, a
that, like,
little bit. It's kind of crass.
yeah, it's really, really crappy, and like I could see where that backlash is coming from, like saying we don't need a reboot of this. Yeah,
Hmm. Yeah. Hmm.
but that's pretty much our opinion on female Ghostbusters so far. The movie comes out June 2016. There's still no trailer yet. So I guess we'll have to
Hmm.
wait and see what the footage has to look like in the next couple of weeks when it comes out.
Yep.
All right, next question. Elizabeth Banks. Do you know who Elizabeth Banks is, by the way?
Yeah. I think so. Is that the girl? She was in Scrubs, wasn't she?
I think so. She was in the Hunger Games movie. She was in
Yes.
yes,
Yeah, I know who she is. Yeah.
yes. She's known for the Pitch Perfect franchise as well and Wet Hot American Summer, which is one of my favorite comedies of all time. Has been cast as Rita Repulsa for the upcoming Power Rangers film. What do you think about that casting? She's the villain.
I don't know, cause like Power Rangers was just so silly. I mean, when I was a kid, I watched it, but I only watched it because, and this was when I was really really small, like I before even starting school. Like I only watched it because my cousin watched it, and I liked the pink Power Ranger, and then I knew the Power Rangers would save the day, and that's about it. So I don't really have that much strong affinity towards Power Rangers, but I just think like I don't know. I have no idea what to make of that one. It makes me laugh, and I don't even know why. It's just Power Rangers to me is just. I know it means a lot to most
Hmm.
people, or quite a lot of people. So I'm not making fun. I'm not making fun of it. Personally, I just think of it as just kind of silly, cheesy fun, really. So I don't really have too strong opinion of that. I think it might be cool. I'll see it.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up with Power Rangers a lot back in the day. Like, I watched Mighty Morphin, I watched Dino Attack, I watched Time Force. Like, I watched a couple. I watched mostly those seasons of it. But I don't consider myself the biggest fan of Power Rangers as well. Like, I think it's fun, like you say, but it's not like the most amazing thing I've seen in a while. Like if you
Mm.
think about it, if you go back to I actually went back to Mighty Morphin Power Rangers recently. Man, does it look dated with those effects.
Oh, don't even. I watched the original, not the new Sailor Moon. I watched the original Sailor Moon, which
Hmm.
I loved as a kid, just like a few months back. Oh God, the animation is so dated and it's the dubbing so weird and it's so cheesy. It just kind of like the nostalgia goggles broke massively on that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hopeful that this movie's also good, like the Female Ghostbusters movie, but I'm not like
Mm,
the most excited person in the world right now to be
mm,
for it. They actually months ago they announced the cast of who are going to be the Rangers. It's a bunch of unknowns, and I'm kind of worried about that because it's like you don't have enough experienced actors in this film. Like, I feel like there should be at least some experience with the actors, but these people I looked up, they have no filmography on their list whatsoever. It could
mm.
also be a good thing because they are new and they probably need some fresh blood for this movie since it is technically a reboot of the franchise. So
Yeah.
so I'm curious to see how it goes. I'm not excited, but I'll see it just if it's good at least, I guess you could say.
Yeah, yeah. Again, makes sense. Mm.
Uh,
I'll probably wait to hold off to see whether or not if it's really really good, then I'll watch it. If it's really really bad, I'll watch it. So
yes,
if it's somewhere in between, then I probably won't bother.
that's pretty
It's
much
like
how I
that.
feel.
What's that? Like the that really rubbish Dragon Ball movie, Dragon Ball Evolution. I still haven't gotten around to seeing
Oh,
that yet, but I feel like I should because I love Dragon Ball Z. I feel
I
like I should just to see.
I watched Dragon Ball Evolution and I didn't even watch the original show and I even hated it that because it was just so illogical and so silly. I was just like, what is this is meant to be serious too. It's like a serious dark tone movie and I'm just like, what the heck is that?
Oh my god.
It was just a
But
stupid movie.
the one thing I will not watch though, I just refuse. I can't bring myself to watch is the M Night Shyamalan version of Avatar: The Last Airbender. I just can't. I can't bring myself to do it. I cannot. I love that show too much. I think it will just hurt me too much to do it.
Yeah, you introduced me to Avatar, and I'm currently watching it right now, and I'm really liking how it's going. I like how it's straightforward for most of the part, or most of the time, and I like
Mm,
the characters, especially Aang, who is really, really hilarious. Eh,
yeah.
I saw the Nostalgia Critic review of the Last Airbender, and I can even say it looked bad. Like it was just really, really terrible looking.
Yeah. Yeah. And he wants to do a sequel, and I don't want him to. Ugh.
Yeah. So that's on Power. That's on the Power Rangers film that's scheduled to be released in 2017. So we'll probably see more info about that in the coming months. Question three: with Super Bowl 50 today, as of this recording, which I'm pretty sure you're excited for it, right, Midnight?
Yeah, no, I'm excited for the Super Bowl. I mean, I probably won't watch it live, but I'll catch like the highlights and I'll catch the commercials definitely.
Hmm.
It's a bit kind of awkward now that I'm working to watch the Super Bowl because it's on so late
Hmm.
here. Whereas I used to watch it and spend like all night, stay awake all night just watching Super Bowl, and it was awesome. Can't do that anymore though.
Yeah, I have friends that are my group of friends are huge fans of football, and they were like begging me to watch it with them today, and I'm just like, fine, I'll go, even though
Mm.
I'm not the biggest fan of American football here.
Mm.
Okay, so the question I have regarding that is that there are many commercials that are coming out for movies today for the Super Bowl. Now, I'm only going to tell you the confirmed list of films to be shown in the Super Bowl today. There are rumors that a few films will show up, like Captain America: Civil War, Doctor Strange, and a bunch of others. But I'm only going to give you the confirmed list and tell me which film do you look forward to the most and why. The confirmed
Okay.
TV spots to be shown at the Super Bowl are Alice Through the Looking Glass, which is the sequel to the Alice in Wonderland remake that Tim Burton made. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're not excited about that.
Yeah, expression says it all.
Uh, the next one is the Jungle Book live action remake by Jon Favreau, who did the first Iron Man movie, which is one of my favorite superhero movies ever made. Um, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2: Out of the Shadows, which is a sequel to the produced Michael Bay Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which, if you want me to be honest, I actually didn't really hate that much. I
Fair
definitely
enough.
liked it better than Transformers 4 that came out that same year.
I didn't see Transformers 4 or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so I'm a bit Michael Bay'd out. Plus, I don't really like his whole comments on the fact that, even though he makes crap, people will still pay money to see it. So I was like, well, sod you then. I'm not gonna go and pay money for it. I'll watch it like another time when
Yeah.
I don't have to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
So I won't give you any money. So that's me being stubborn though.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's completely
Mm,
fine. Uh,
mm.
I have three more films here. X-Men Apocalypse, which is a sequel to First Class and Days of Future Past. Um, Eddie the Eagle, which is a very small indie film that stars Taron Egerton, who is from Kingsman: The Secret Service.
Mm.
Have you seen that yet?
No, I want to though. I really, really want to. It's one of those films that I missed it in the cinema and I was just so annoyed. But then, like, I haven't got around to it yet. But yeah.
And also, it also stars Hugh Jackman as his coach, which is about him in participate, which is Taron Egerton's character participating in the Olympics ski dive in the 1980s or 90s or wherever it is. And it is a true story. There is a guy named Eddie the Eagle, which of course has to be based on. And
Hmm.
he's from the UK and he's representing his country in the Olympics for skiing. So that's the story on that one. And last but not least, we have Independence Day Resurgence, which is the sequel to the first film that was exactly 20 years ago, literally two
Mm.
decades. So, out of the films I told you, which do you look forward to the most and why?
Well, I saw a trailer to X-Men Apocalypse the other day
Mm-hmm.
when I went to go see Star Wars again.
Mm-hmm.
And it looked really interesting. The weird thing about X-Men, though, for me personally, is I don't think that they're the most interesting superhero group. I think that what they stand for is brilliant, though, and
Mm-hmm.
all the underlying subtext and everything is fantastic. But they've never really grabbed me. I always find that I like the movies when I'm watching them.
Mm-hmm.
Not all of them, because I haven't seen all of them. I've heard like three is really bad or something.
Yeah, three is not good.
Um, but yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like they're just not my favorites. Like they're not memorable. They aren't the ones that I'll go to. But
Mm-hmm.
however, I always seem to enjoy them when I watch them,
Mm-hmm.
and I am really looking forward to Apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like quite a lot actually. Um, it seems really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And the trailer made it look really good. So I'm excited for that. And the and I can't. Independence Day. I know it's so bad. Like I know, but I have to go see it. Like I really really have to because I love Independence Day so much. I know it's a bad movie, but god damn it, I love it so much. So I'm gonna go see that definitely. That's like a definite go to.
Well,
Pay money to see in the cinema, watch that movie, have popcorn, and just get wrapped up in the madness of it.
yeah, I mean, I going to Independence Day Resurgence. I saw the first film when I was very, very young. My dad introduced me to it, and
Hmm.
I had so much fun because it was just a bunch of like alien invasion and like all jet pilots and Will Smith saying "Welcome to Earth" and all that. So I had a really fun time, and there's also Jeff Goldblum. Who can go wrong with Jeff Goldblum, honestly?
Mm.
And yeah, the sequel's actually bringing back most of the cast except for Will Smith, of course, which
Yeah.
apparently,
Well, he.
yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, he's sorry. Yeah, he said something like he was just booked at that time. He was doing Suicide Squad at the time, which meant that he couldn't do Independence Day 2. So, which is a shame, I guess. But I am kind of looking forward to Suicide Squad. I don't know how to feel about it, to be honest.
Hmm.
But to be honest, I'm really excited for Independence Day too.
Yeah, I
Mm.
mean, I also heard that for Will Smith, he also I'm hearing a lot of stories, not only just the story you told me about him being busy with Suicide Squad, but also apparently he asked for a lot of money for it for Independence Day, like $50 million or some ridiculous number like that. So he's pretty much getting paid more than the cast and crew was if he really did offer that much.
Mm.
And also, I don't know if this is a true rumor or not. It is a rumor. He apparently wanted to add his son Jaden to the film. So
Huh. Well, if it's a rumor, I have no comment because
y-
rumors are
yeah,
rumors.
rumors are
So,
rumors. So I can't
yeah.
really say if that was
Mm.
true or not. But if it is, I'm not so sure about that.
Mm.
But if you want my personal excitement for films other than Independence Day, X-Men Apocalypse does look interesting. I really liked First Class and Days of Future Past that came out a couple years
Yeah.
before it.
I think they're personally stronger than the original
Yes, I
trilogy.
agree with that.
Mm.
Definitely. Um, the one that I'm really actually looking forward to is, believe it or not, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 Out of the Shadows, which, if you
Fair
want me to
enough.
be honest, I'm a very big TMNT fan. I own all the movies. I watched a little bit of the cartoon. I own some of the games. Uh, like, and I have to be honest. When I watched the trailer for the sequel for to TMNT, I was honestly impressed because they went with the more lighthearted tone, which is supposed to be TMNT, to most well
Yeah.
known to people, and they incorporated a lot of stuff from the cartoons into this one. Like in the first film that came out 2 years ago, the Foot Clan were actually a bunch of mercenary gun wielding contractors. But in this film, they kind of went for a soft reboot and went with ninjas, which they were supposed to be in the first place.
Yeah.
So they're kind of going with the soft reboot um, style here. They also adding Casey Jones, who is the hockey mask vigilante who helps the turtles. Do you remember him at
Okay.
all?
No, I wasn't really that strong on Teenage Mutant Ninja
Hmm.
Turtles. I don't know. I think that just kind of passed me by whilst I was interested in like Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball Z
Hmm.
and God knows what else at that time. Probably the Spider-Man animated series. I really liked that for some strange reason.
Yeah, yeah, I
But
can see
you know,
that.
mm,
The rest of the films here, I'm just looking through, and I'm just like, I'm not so sure about those films. Like
mm,
Alice Through the Looking Glass, I did not like the remake whatsoever.
I couldn't even watch it because it was just so. It's just such a CGI fest. It just looked so tacky to me. I just couldn't even. And to be honest, I think the whole this is a really unpopular opinion at the moment, I think, but I personally I hated Alice in Wonderland, the Disney
Ooh,
film, when
hoo,
I
hoo,
was a
hoo,
kid.
hoo. Fighting
Yeah, no,
words.
I really, really
Ooh, hoo,
did
hoo,
not
hoo.
like it when I was a kid. Nowadays, like I could take it or leave it. I think it's a sweet story, but when I was a kid, because I don't know, I was quite practical for the most part. I'm quite weird in that I've got a really practical mind and I've also got a really airy fairy mind.
Mm-hmm.
So the practical side of me was like, why don't you just tell Alice which way to go home? God's sake, everyone in Wonderland is so annoying. And this was me like as a like little 4-year-old, and I was just like, ah, it just used to really bug me. But like nobody was helping this poor girl,
Yeah.
and it just really frustrated me. Nowadays, I think it's kind of like it's charming. It's a little slow. It's not my favorite, but I could take it or leave it. But the
Mm-hmm.
reboot just looked so tacky and so much of a CGI fest, and trying to put a plot where there shouldn't really be a plot because it's Alice in Wonderland.
Mm-hmm.
So I just kind of just left it, and I from what I'd heard about it, and what I've heard about it since, nothing has convinced me to want to watch it. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I watched it with my dad and sister when it was for rental. They watched it in the theaters actually, and they said they liked it. They actually really liked it. And this is coming from me who also watched the original Alice in Wonderland and actually really liking it. I saw the remake I just felt like, yeah, it was okay, I guess. I mean, it was mostly style over substance for me personally. What that film was, like Tim
Mm,
Burton, I felt put a little too much of his sprinkles on it, in my opinion.
fair enough.
Yeah,
Yeah, makes
yeah,
sense.
and there's also the Jungle Book live action remake, which I'll admit the trailer was fine enough. I thought it was cool looking. Was there needed to be a live action remake of Jungle Book? Maybe not. But if you want me to be perfectly honest, I haven't seen the Disney film of Jungle Book, the animated.
Oh, fair enough. Mm,
But I look
yeah.
forward to the remake. It looks cool enough, but I'm not
Mm.
excited for it.
I'm excited and slightly scared for the Beauty and the Beast one because Disney seems
Mhm.
to be going through a phase of making live action remakes. I did not like Maleficent. I know you did, but ugh. I mean, if I pretend that it's not about Maleficent and it's just about some random fairy who also happens to be called Maleficent, then that's fine. But as a movie about Maleficent, I just thought it was just awful.
Yeah.
But
I said this a lot on your streams. I like Maleficent.
yes, I know, I know. We have to agree to disagree on that
Yeah,
one.
we do.
But I love Beauty and the Beast, and I think that the casting, the movie is so perfect. I think they've just got it so right. Everyone is cast amazingly. So I am both nervous and excited to see how this one's gonna pan out.
Hmm.
You
Yeah,
know.
we have Emma Watson as Belle for the main for her, and if you want me to be honest, I actually don't think that's a bad casting choice. I really like Emma Watson a lot from Harry Potter, and I just think that if she could pull it off in this type of film, then I would be very, very satisfied. I don't know who they casted the Beast though. That's the thing. I don't
Mm.
remember the casting for the Beast.
I remember looking at the guy and thinking, yeah, no, he looks really cool. He'll probably be a really good beast.
Yeah,
Um, but I think Ian McKellen's supposed to be in it or something
Ian
as well.
McKellen.
I think so. Yeah,
Really?
I think like there's loads of people in the really famous people in the cast, and I was just like, what?
I
Okay,
did not know
but
that.
mm, yeah. So
I know that Olaf from Frozen isn't it? He's the henchman to
oh yeah,
Gaston. Who's
mm,
the name again? I forgot about that film as
the
well.
foo,
The
the
Foo.
foo is
Okay.
yeah.
And Gaston's supposed to be played by Luke Evans, who is mostly known for Dracula Untold and the Hobbit films as the Bard. So
Hmm.
yeah, I like that actor a lot. And seeing the cast for this film, most of the names I do know at least, I'm really curious to see how they'll pull it off.
Yeah, yeah, me too.
All right, so I think that's it for the Super Bowl question. I also threw the Looking Glass, supposed to come out sometime this year in the summer. Jungle Book live action remake also this year. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 June 2016. X-Men Apocalypse May 2016. Eddie the Eagle. Actually, it's been out for festivals and it's coming out to worldwide this month. And finally, Independence Day Resurgence will be out in June 2016. So yeah, that's actually it for the movie questions, believe it or not.
Oh, okay.
So we're moving on to the game questions, which there are three more questions overall.
Mm.
Um, the first video game question is a new horror game that is on Kickstarter right now called Visage is set to release in 2017 for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. It's supposed to be a game influenced by PT, which was the demo made by Konami, which then revealed to be a teaser for the cancelled Silent Hills game, which was supposed to be made by Hideo Kojima, written by Guillermo del Toro, and starring Norman Reedus, who was from The Walking Dead. With all these inspired games coming out from PT like Allison Road and etc., do you think they should make more of these, or do you think it's getting a little tiring now that they're
Well,
existing?
I'm not so sure about it really because I don't think it's becoming overly saturated, the whole
Mm-hmm.
PT genre.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I have personally not played those games, but I do really want to play Allison Road and those games. So I'm excited for them personally. I think it will probably end up being oversaturated because it's the internet and
Hmm.
it's media, and once something's profitable, people flood with the those kinds of style games, and there's a very noticeable gap in the market for it. What with the Silent Hills being, unfortunately cancelled. But personally, I'm optimistic about the genre. I think
Hmm.
horror needs a good kick, especially mainstream horror, but then that's different to indie horror. Indie horror seems to be really good at the moment, whereas, AAA horror just seems to be action horror, which isn't what I
Yeah.
really like. Mm.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying there. Like, right now I'm kind of interested in seeing how these games go. Like, I just feel that like if we get a lot of these games throughout the years, I feel like you're right. It is going to be oversaturated throughout the years. But
Mm.
for now, I think it's getting a little slow, slow and quiet a bit since they're on Kickstarter mostly. They're not major releases or anything like that. So I
Yeah.
definitely look forward to Allison Road and this new game called Visage. Um, I actually played PT. That was actually, believe it or not, that was my first stream on Twitch.
Really?
I played with my
Okay.
brother and sister. They were on the mics as well.
Oh, I
Um,
never got to play it. I
yeah,
never got to play
I
PT.
literally streamed it the day it came out, and I couldn't get past the last puzzle because I was just like, what the. Sorry for the language. Oh shoot. This is a school project too.
Don't worry, just bleep it or
I'll
something.
probably bleep it. I'll
Bleep
try and
it.
bleep it. Oh,
I was worried that I was gonna be the one to swear. You did
ah,
it.
crap. Uh, well,
Back on the move on.
that
Move on.
escalated quickly.
La, la,
Okay, next question.
la.
Okay. Okay, next.
Okay. Stop. Stop, stop, stop. Let's
I
go.
can't. I
A
can't.
new question.
Next question. Okay. Whew. Lego Star Wars: The Force Awakens has been announced this week. There were previous leaks for it a day before it was officially announced. Are you excited for Star Wars: The Force Awakens Lego version?
Believe it or not, and this is probably going to be controversial as well. I've never played a Lego game.
Really? Not even the original
No,
Star Wars?
no, no. And to be honest, I was just thinking, oh, okay, they're just, games for kids. Like, they're cute, they look cute and stuff, but they
Mm-hmm.
just weren't anything that I tried. Whereas I've seen, like, Lego Jurassic Park,
Mm-hmm.
which looks amazing.
I
And,
yeah, I had
yeah.
Lego Jurassic World. Um,
Mm,
I unfortunately had the Vita version of it, which wasn't like the main game I was hoping for because I thought it was like, oh cool, it's cheap and I have a Vita, let's go get it. And it was like
mm,
I was fine with it for what it was, but I was kind of bored by it because when I looked at the PS4 and Xbox One versions of it, I was like thinking to myself, why didn't I get those versions of it? I was like, I was on a budget that time, so I couldn't really pay that much money for PS4 and Xbox One games back then. And this was
yeah.
and believe it or not, I bought Lego Jurassic World the day at the minute after I walked out of Jurassic World.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, but Lego Star Wars: The Force Awakens, I'm we both really like Star Wars: The Force Awakens, definitely.
Yeah. Well, I just saw it again last night, so
You did.
yeah.
You said that on Twitter, and was it just as good as the second time, personally?
Yep. Yep. Just as good. Still love it.
Yeah, I
Still
saw it a
love it.
second time as well with my aunt who was from Las Vegas, and we went to this fancy theater, like really fancy, and I was just it was so good the second time around. Like, and to be honest, it felt like more fast paced than I watched it the second time around. Like, when I first
Mm.
watched it, it was fine. It was a normal pace through it. But when I watched it the second time, it went really fast. I was like, I want more. No.
Yeah. Yeah. The thing about being in a theater though is I can't do all the reactions that I want to do. So like like I don't know. Well, I won't spoil it for anyone that hasn't seen it, but
Yeah.
there's like scenes in there with X-wings and stuff like that, and I just wanted to scream. I was like, "Ah, oh my god!" Because like they're just there, and it's like my childhood all back again. I just wanted to just like squeal in excitement and stuff, but just can't do that. So I can't wait for it to come out on DVD or
Yeah.
Blu-ray. Yeah, to do that in the comfort of my own home, just start shrieking.
Just lying down on the couch just like this, watching Star Wars: The Force Awakens, like,
It's like
yes.
ah.
Um,
Mm.
did you see the trailer for the Lego game? No?
No, actually, sorry. No, actually, I haven't seen it. Um, I don't think anyway. But I'm still really excited for it because I think that it's probably going to be really funny because the Lego games do look like they're really quite charming and hilarious. So I have been meaning to pick one up. So if I'm going to get one, it might as well be for freaking Star Wars, you know?
Yeah. Yeah,
Mm.
if I'm gonna bring up somebody from VGA chat, you probably know him, Star Kitsune. He's a
Oh, yeah?
huge Lego fan. Like
Mm.
he literally bought all the Lego Dimension figures for Lego Dimensions. And I was thinking to
Yep, I'm
myself,
aware.
I'm just like, oh my god, that's so much money. All that money gone.
Mm.
But
Well, you know,
yeah,
it's his,
it's his
yeah,
thing. It's his thing,
yeah.
and I'll definitely. Speaking of which, I'll probably have him on as a guest one day soon.
That'd be so cool.
Yeah, if I do like like a show on my podcast that brings most of the turbos I know, including you, that are like
Mm.
all together, that'd be really cool to see with all of you guys
Mhm.
there.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, that's Lego Star Wars: The Force Awakens, which should come out June this year as well.
Mhm.
Now, this is actually the last question for today before we go to the quick questions and end the podcast here for today.
Mhm.
Titanfall 2 has been announced today to have a single player campaign, unlike the last game, which was just multiplayer. My question to you isn't about Titanfall itself, but rather, should developers who make multiplayer only games learn to add single player modes in the future, or should at least some games stay multiplayer only?
That's really tricky because um if you try and force yourself, and this is speaking of, from me, because I'm a writer.
Mm-hmm.
My writing style is kind of it's pretty fixed now. It's always getting better the more and more I write, but my writing style itself is fixed.
Mm-hmm.
And so someone telling me to write something in a certain way would be really difficult for me because if it's not part of my writing style or what I like to do,
Mm-hmm.
I think it would end up being really forced and not my best work. So, and I feel that it will probably be the same way with games developers. If they're kind of trying to shoehorn something in there, like a single player or a multiplayer, it wouldn't be as effective or it wouldn't seem that authentic
Yeah.
because they're trying to force it. So I think, people should just be free to make the games that they want to
Mm-hmm.
make, as long as, they're not hurting anyone or, being deliberately horrible and offensive. I'm thinking of games like, Hatred or something. Um,
Mm-hmm.
just, yeah, that's a really tricky question.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, if they're doing it, if they're putting that single player mode in or that multiplayer mode in just to try something new, that's fantastic because you should always try something
Mm-hmm.
new if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's really up to the creative people to decide, and hopefully this isn't a executive decision from producers really, and
Mm-hmm.
trying to force them to do something that isn't really part of their specialty. If
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah, I
Mm.
played Titanfall, the original on Xbox One. I
Mhm.
thought it was a good game until 2 weeks. Then I got bored of it. uh,
Yeah, I've heard that.
there was technically a campaign with it, but it was in
Mhm.
the style of multiplayer. Like you had to play with people in order to get the story. Like
Okay.
it was interesting at the time, but when you look at the execution of it, it's really not all that spectacular. it's not mind-blowing or anything like that. There are a couple of multiplayer games, in my opinion, that have been either really good or really bad to me. Like, the ones that really got me bored, honestly, by playing just the beta alone, and this is how the full game's gonna be, is Evolve, which comes to one, the monster hunting game where it's 4v1.
Yeah, apparently that game's all but forgotten about now
Yeah,
because of how
it's
limited it
dead.
was.
It's just dead.
Mm.
But one game that I actually do like, and believe it or not, it's on Angry Joe's top 10 most disappointing list. That is number 1 on his list. Star Wars: The Battlefront.
Oh, Star Wars Battlefront. See, the thing is, I can't comment on that because I personally don't really buy EA games if I can afford not to, because I think that EA as a company, I disagree with their whole scheme of how they design and make games now and what they did to The Sims, and generally that's my opinion of them.
Mhm.
But also, you know, first person shooter games, they're not really my type of thing. Like I play Call of Duty Black Ops. That's pretty much the only FPS I'll play, and that's because I really enjoyed the zombie level, and that's it. That's the only reason why. But from what I've seen of it, it looks really interesting, and it looks like it would be fun to the people that enjoy FPS.
Mhm.
You know, FPSs. Yeah, and it's certainly beautiful, stunning game,
Yep, it is.
graphics wise.
We did a multi-twitch on Call of Duty Black Ops 3 Zombies, and
Yep.
we had a very, very fun time with that.
Oh, that was so much fun.
Even though we screwed up a lot, we were just dying each round. But it's whatever. It's
Oh
fine.
well, you know, sometimes life isn't all about being MLG. Sometimes you just
Yeah.
gotta enjoy it, even if you suck at it.
True. I mean, I'm not the. If you want me to be honest, I'm not the best in Call of Duty Zombies. Like, I've seen people that gone all the way to round 99, and I'm just like,
Whoa,
oh my
that's
god.
crazy.
Yeah,
I can
that's.
barely make it past round 10.
I can't even pass round 20 on my own. I was, it's so hard. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty much our opinion on multiplayer only games and how, if it's forced or not, if they're putting in single player. Titanfall 2 will be released on 2017. Um, Now we're pretty much done with the main questions overall. Now we're gonna move on to the quick questions where you have to say yes or no to these questions. It's basically yes or no questions, pretty much.
Okay.
So I only have 3 here though, so it won't be too long. Um,
Okay.
Number 1, Ryan Reynolds in the upcoming Deadpool flick has been vowed to never return to the Green Lantern character in any type of medium. Do you agree with this decision?
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
All right. Speaking of Deadpool, Deadpool is opening this weekend and is poised to hit $60 million domestically, and is poised to hit $100 million worldwide probably. Do you think it will make it to that number?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, and the last question is, a futuristic Legend of Zorro movie is in the works and will be a reboot of this franchise that starred Antonio Banderas. Do you think it's necessary?
No.
No?
Can I elaborate on these yes or no's?
You can if you
Like,
want. Go ahead.
ugh. What? I didn't even know. Is that true?
It's
I
true.
didn't
It's
even
been
know
confirmed that there's gonna be a futuristic Zorro movie that's not even gonna star Antonio Banderas, and it's a reboot of the franchise.
that. I'm. No! No! Like, this is the worst news I've ever heard. You just ruined my weekend.
Did
Oh
I
my
really
God.
ruin your weekend?
That, like, I love. The thing is, like, I'm part Spanish,
Okay.
and I used to watch this movie all the time as a kid.
Mhm.
I loved the Antonio Banderas one. I even didn't mind the second one as much. I freaking love Zorro. It's one of my favorite movies. And it's just one of those movies that is just near perfect for me, a near perfect adventure movie. So this kind of hurts. This kind of hurts me right in the nostalgia. Ugh. Why? Bad Hollywood.
Yeah, I haven't. If you want me to be perfectly honest, I haven't seen the Legend of Zorro movies with Antonio Banderas, so I can't really comment. But I've heard they're really good. I've heard they're really fun. Yeah, I don't know what to say about it. Like, when I think about it, the Legend of Zorro being futuristic, what? That sounds a little weird.
That sounds really weird. You know what? I'll probably watch it, but I'm not gonna be happy about it. It's so unnecessary.
You're probably just gonna like shout in the theater, "This sucks."
No, I'm English. We don't shout in the theater unless it's Spider-Man 3. But that's a whole different ballpark.
Wait. Tell me about that story now. Tell me about that story.
Okay. Well, English people in general, we don't cry out, we don't shout out in the cinema. We find it like really, really rude to do that, you know, because it's like ruining other people's experiences. So we're very good at shushing people, particularly noisy teenagers. But when I went to go see Spider-Man 3 years ago with my friends, we were all sitting there watching it, and about a quarter of the way through, like, us as an audience in general started to realize that actually this movie's not that great, is it? So we kind of started making fun of it as an audience, and like just stuff like just clapping along and just like shouting and hollering and stuff, and just heckling the movie. And like when Peter Parker gets all like emo and starts doing that really weird dorky dance, like everyone was just like ah, or laughing their asses off and stuff. Just yeah, it was just hilarious. And then like when he hits Mary Jane, everyone like, this is really horrible, but when he hits Mary Jane by accident, everyone went yay. We were just like, oh my god, why are we laughing and clapping at that? We are all horrible people. But like I think it was just because we were making fun of it. Like Twilight, when that came out, I think a lot of teenagers wanted to kill me that day because I was laughing so hard at the film when I went to see it in the cinema. But yeah, so I'm probably on a lot of tweens' death lists.
You're not on my death list.
No, you're not a tween.
Whatever.
Tweens are like 12.
Oh, I thought you meant
just.
Like... I thought that was just another saying of teen. I was like, what?
No, tweens are like the people that are just about to become teenagers, like 12-year-olds, 11-year-olds. You're not 11.
No, I'm not. I'm 17. I'm turning 18 this year. Yeah, I saw Spider-Man 3 in theaters actually, and I remember I was like really young, and I actually really liked it. I believe it or not, but that was just me. That was my young self. Now that I watched it more recently, it was okay, I guess. I mean, it wasn't the worst movie I've seen, but it was definitely not good. I mean, I like emo Peter Parker. Okay, I'll admit, emo Peter Parker. When I saw that in the theater, I was like, what is this? Why is he dancing randomly? And also not to I thought when they added Venom, I thought it was really cool, but when I watch it now, it just felt like so forced and tackled on, like when they added him into the film.
Yeah.
Very much. I just wish it was just Sandman and the Green Goblin, James Franco's character. So I just wish it was those two mostly, because they have more personal vendettas in my opinion than Venom does with Spider-Man. So that's just my view of it right now, though. I don't think it's a bad film, but I don't think it's the best Spider-Man film, certainly. I mean, I like Amazing Spider-Man 1 over that.
Yeah, well, Amazing Spider-Man, I think is good simply just because I prefer Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man over Tobey Maguire's. But that's just my opinion.
I didn't see Amazing Spider-Man 2 yet, though. I've heard...
No, I haven't either.
I've heard some Mixed things, mixed emotions towards it.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Me too.
I don't even know if I should bother anymore because now Marvel has the property and they're gonna make their own film on it. So
Yeah. Meh.
hey, they have to add into Civil War and the Avengers.
Yeah, well, that's exciting, but oh god, please don't let this be another origin story for Spider-Man.
Well, that's what I'm not. That's what I'm not hoping for too. Like, I don't want another origin story. Just get to the point. He's Spider-Man. Let him fight crime and let him get to his villains. Like,
Hmm.
we've seen that already twice already. We don't really need another origin story for him.
Mind you, Batman's origin story has been covered time and time and time and time again. Same with Superman, but I think Superman's movies they make me sad. Apart from the Christopher Reeve ones,
Hmm.
they make me sad because I love Superman so much.
Yeah, I can
They
understand
don't do
that.
justice. They don't do him justice at all. Mm.
Not even Man of Steel.
No, especially not Man of Steel. No, they tried to make him all brooding and Dark Knightish, and he's not like that. But I could rant about that for days.
We'll be here for hours if you rant about Man of Steel.
I'll keep lipped at that.
That's pretty much it. Actually, that's all the questions we've gone through. Um, that's it. That's it for the first episode of One Take. Did you have a good time,
Nice.
Midnight?
Yeah, I did actually. I do. I am a bit of a chatterbox, so
Yeah.
I was worried I was gonna babble incoherently, but
No,
so far my babble is coherent.
you did a
Sort
great
of.
job.
Thanks. You too.
Thank you. All right, so I guess that's it for our first episode of One Take. Thank you guys for watching. To those who are watching on YouTube, I hope you had a good time listening and watching our podcast for the first time. I'll post every episode every weekend, leading up to events, leading up to summer, which I'll probably take a break from there, but I'll definitely keep you up to date on the podcast itself on my Twitter page. I also have a Twitch as well, Gaming Kid 1998. So make sure you go follow that as well, and also make sure you follow my friend Midnight here, who also has a Twitch and YouTube, same name, Midnightstarlight, on both of them. She hasn't created her YouTube channel yet, but definitely give her some support when she does. And her Twitch, she just reached 300 followers a few days ago, actually.
It's crazy. I don't even know what to do to like celebrate. I have no idea. It's amazing though.
Do you have a date of when you're gonna do your 300th follower stream?
It's a bit difficult because it hit 300 earlier on this week, and this weekend I was really busy, and next weekend I'm going on holiday. So I think the weekend, like during the week, sometime, not next week, but the weekend after, I'll have to do it instead. But I'm really looking forward to it. Whatever I decide to do.
All right, well, that's it for today now. I'll link both her channel and her Twitch page on the description below. I'll also link my Twitter and my Twitch page as well. Again, Midnight, thank you so much for being here for my first episode of One Take, and I really appreciate taking your time since you're also from the UK and it's probably like really late. Is it nighttime there? It's nighttime there
Like
already.
7 o'clock in the evening.
I know it's not late.
Not that bad.
I know it's not late, but it's nighttime already. Like it's barely morning here, so that's so will you come back in the future possibly?
Yeah, absolutely, definitely. I had loads of fun.
All right, that's it for today, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, subscribe to this channel for more episodes on One Take, and definitely support both of us. I'll see you guys next time, guys.
Bye.
Bye, guys.